Hello and welcome to Uncommon Starcraft Into the Forge. My name is Casey. Hello, everybody. So if you've been paying any attention to my channel, which maybe you have, there's been a couple additional videos, just some new things I'm adding to keep track of my own progress and for my own notes. But there's a 3.5 hour long coaching session that I got from a new friend of mine named Kazi. He's been helping me with my Terran play, and today we sat down, we talked a lot about the basics of Terran and really dived into TVZ, and we finished it out with a build order that is going to take a lot of work. So luckily, if you looked at the deliberate practice video, you saw I was practicing 1-1-1 expansions, and this was the build order he gave me was a fast expand, a Reaper fast expand, Hellion timing push, and it's a nice timing push. It's what I'm going to attempt to do if I get a Zerg opponent, and if I don't get a Zerg opponent, I'm going to, I don't know, we're going to find out because I don't have build orders yet for the other two matchups, so maybe I'll default back to Mass Marine, Medevac, Tank, Turtling that has gotten me into gold. That being said, it's definitely not about winning anymore. I'm going to start taking a lot more losses as I fumble around with this 1-1-1 situation. So I went ahead and I was practicing some of this in Salt, but I definitely don't have it down. I'm definitely very clumsy with it. I float a lot of minerals, but we can't wait till it's perfect. I've got to stay on top of that ladder anxiety. So as usual, let's take a quick look at our notepad. Here we go. So top 3 issues still are map presence, scouting, and supply blocks. If I can get some of this scouting done today, it'll really influence my build, especially in TVZ. I've learned a bit about transitioning early on out of my opener. Matchup notes are still mostly the same. I went ahead and replaced drops for harassment with Liberator. Or sorry, I replaced Liberator for harassment with drops for harassment. And let's see if I can do some of that, some harassment / scouting. The most important thing here will be keeping my harassment units alive in this matchup because it's essential to have them in the timing push. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. 50% of my games have been TVZ, so there's a good probability that that's what I'm going to run into today. And it's one of the reasons it was the first matchup we looked at. Was that one of the reasons? I don't know. But we're going to get in here and do this game. Alright, TVZ gold on Ruins of Ceres. It's a good map for it, especially if I use that Reaper to find the location and keep the Reaper alive. Waiting for, and then keep him alive outside the base, keeping an eye out for incoming enemy. Do some drops, some good place for drops depending on where we spawn. So it's going to look like a normal Reaper fast expand.
Not enough minions.
Let's
Not enough minions.
good.
Not enough minions.
Good luck, have fun. We're just nice people. Okay. That wasn't very long. I was worried that I might have missed an SCV cycle super early,
Additional. Not enough.
but I was just triggered to look. Oh my gosh.
Minions.
That key should not be that close. So I'm going to be super off now. That was a bunch of minerals. And it's going to delay my gas and delay my Reaper. Okay. Just keep it going. Get this. Make sure that gas is full. There we go. Get the orbital going.
Insufficient.
Get this
SC
Reaper
gas.
going.
Insufficient SC gas.
that's fun.
Not enough minerals.
And we get down the wall. Because you never know what cheese is coming next.
Not enough minerals.
And this one, when he finishes, is actually going to make a factory. There we go, I normally forget that. Let's keep that going. Keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on my mini-map.
Not enough minerals.
And there we go.
Minerals. Not enough minerals.
Start the second gas. This is big for getting my reactor right after this marine. I'm going to switch that with the tech lab. Alright, so Reaper didn't find anything yet. And you're going to go make keep him alive. Keep him alive. Get him out of here. He can come back. So you're gonna build this, that. Yeah, that. Alright, we need to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. But while I do that, you know what, that's not right. While I do that,
Add-on complete.
alright. Lings, gas. I need to take a look at the gas. Double Evo chamber. Roach Warren. Alright, so in the tanks. This push is going to end soon. Let's get a medevac, marine, stem. Let's go ahead and fortify this up a bit. Early tank. And you can build that. Let's get some damage done.
Add-on complete.
Get a tank. And let's get some supply depots, because I just let myself get blocked. Alright, run bys. Roast me some drones.
Add-on.
No, roast drones. Oh, so gorgeous. Let's go ahead and not lose everything.
Not enough minerals.
That was super successful. Heart is going.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Let's see, he didn't have a third, right? No. Let's go ahead and let's do a drop.
Not enough minerals. Not enough. SCV. Additional supply depots. Mineral field depleted. Additional supply depots required.
Alright, a lot of damage. Wow, let's... Let's see if I didn't sacrifice too much, though, for the, for that push.
Mineral field depleted. Additional supply depots required.
And that's bad, so... Just go ahead and,
Rescue gas.
shaking.
Insufficient rescue gas. Upgrade complete.
Go ahead and cancel that third for him.
Our SCVs are under attack. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Add-on complete. Mineral field depleted. Add-on. Not enough minerals. Mineral field
Nope.
depleted.
Let's go ahead and move one of you just all the way across the map.
Not
Oh wow.
Not enough minerals.
So, big supply blocks.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Upgrade complete. Additional supply depots required.
Whew, there we go. So I did something, right? I scouted. I got some harass done. I built I built myself up around the scout. Wait, let me collect myself and talk about that in a second. So, I executed the build somewhat. I got to the opener, with some mistakes, like, you know, destroying a barracks. I was able to get the Hellion Scout, the Reaper Scout to see roaches. I was able to do a run by with the Hellions, and he grouped them up so much for me. It was nice, and it put me in the lead that whole time. I think I made a lot of mistakes after that, but that early harassment solidified the victory. Pretty hard. But let's take a look. Still shaking. Right there. Oops, excuse me. So, probably a whole bunch of things to work on, and then Kazi would probably have a couple dozen things. But I do feel good. Oh, those were some money Hellions. I don't know about that drop. I did lose the 2 tanks, and I kind of committed to taking out his resources on this base, but let's take a look at what was lost. Let's keep a key on the unit tab. So he did some he had some Zerglings early on. Slow us down. I didn't get much up here. I didn't want to get stuck and lose that Reaper, so I left. Wasn't a lot to see. I didn't look for the gas. So I'm supposed to look for the gas. Slow us down for a second. I'm supposed to look for the gas and see how much he'd mined, but he's going pretty continuous, so that would have been a sign of some tech and some roaches. So otherwise, if he goes to 100 and stops, he's probably expanding to 3 bases. If he keeps going, he's got some tech in mind, and I might want to play a little more defensively. I came in for a second peek. I kept him alive twice. Didn't click on the gas, but I saw the Roach Warren coming down, which let me know to switch into tanks. So that Reaper was worth its money. I get these 4 Hellions out. I think I supply blocked at 54. There were some good supply blocks in here. Some good supply blocks. So, excuse me. Get these Hellions down. Follow them. There we go. This, pausing. Let me back that up. I want to see that entire attack. And just take a look at where I was on workers and where he was. So he had 14 workers up here. He had 16 workers up here. He was well saturated. 43 workers. Pause. Any in production? 43 workers. 1 in production. So whatever we see here is pretty much it. 43. Alright, so little miss micro on my part. But I see he is bunching up. He is bunching up well. 37, 34, 43 minus, 32, 31, 29. So, 29. And they got all my Hellions. Completely worth it. I saw you switching the Roaches. The Hellions weren't going to do much anyway. But that was 14 workers. An entire base worth of workers. He wasn't happy. I was ecstatic. There it is. So I have an early lead now. Exactly 14 supply worth of lead. And I switched into tanks. And I came to do this harass. So I don't know if this was worth it. I'm going to take a look at what he had here too. Because he's about to he's catching up in drones. He's droning up heavily. Not a lot of units to actually answer this. Alright. So the idea here is I have 7 Marines. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Marines. He has 42 workers. Let's see what happens. So I just come in here and I kind of sacked these medevacs just to keep these alive a little longer. Don't know if it was worth it. He had 43 again, which is at 48. Back down to 26, and I have double his worker supply. If we look back at income tab, more than double his income. And this isn't about feeling good about the push. Let's look at this follow up, this counter push. It's about deciding whether or not harass is seeing the results of harass. It's something I haven't done a lot of. I never did a lot of. He comes in here, he does some pretty good job. Let's watch this. Pretty good job of taking out, I think, an entire mineral line worth of workers. I picked up and I was moving out. I didn't even see it. It took so long to respond to this. He got it all. Wait, 16. Yep, 24 workers. So that evened it up. Like that should have been it, but I think I just had too much. Let's look at the worker count. had too much of an early lead. 24 workers, that's pretty bad. And that was me, I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't looking at the mini-map, I didn't respond nearly quick enough. This was mine to push back, because I had tanks, right? So if you look at the economy, he's got... My early economy let me put up the production facilities that I needed to win this. That was a huge mistake. A game, losing mistake typically. I continued to produce, backed up for a minute here, let him retreat all the way back, and I continued to push. I need a checklist on replay analysis later, but what I really just wanted to be excited about this win, so that's what I just did. A lot of mistakes though, a lot of things I need to clean up. Right here though, going after the third, pushing up here, just kind of cleaning up everything. So, all right. All right. So let's take a quick look at UG Tracker, and I'm going to take some notes on things I want to look out for in the future. Because when I do these replay analysis, I want to have a checklist of things that I'm looking for. Because I think all I did there was watch the key highlights that I felt as I was playing, kind of described it back to you. There we go. We'll go load this up. Oh, GG Tracker didn't want to load again. So I'll just tell you, GG Tracker says master level spending. It looks like most of the engagements were either most of the engagements except for that one loss of 24 SCVs favored me, or it's very close. And the Hellion was just a well-timed harass. I can't think that would work every time, and not paying attention to that mini-map is going to cost me. So hey, this is let's pull up the notepad. So we talked about 111 down here. Used the Hellions for some map control. When I see them going into roaches instead of a 3 base expansion, I'm switching over to tanks. Otherwise, I would have pushed with Hell Bats at about the 6-minute mark, 6.5, using more drops for harassment. I didn't need to sacrifice that drop. According to this, that exchange was even. We lost about the same number of resources, and I made a lot of sacrifices to get some more worker kills. So that was worker versus army. He traded in workers, I traded in the army. Things I'm probably going to have to look for in the future are supply blocks. Those were still huge. And gas spending. That was something brought up during the coaching session that I'm gathering gas that I don't need. So probably take a look at the next replay. And then let's start another column here for replay analysis, things to look for. So gas spending, not letting gas get too high, because those are minerals you could use. Supply blocks. So we're looking for when and how often. SCV production. And actually just army production. So those are a lot of fundamentals that I had a lot of problems with. And in the future, when we're doing these replay analysis, instead of just doing an overview of the fight, we're going to take a look at, we'll start with those 4 categories and highlight the ones I'm having the biggest issues with still. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to develop these more on my own. So when we say gas spending, every gas you don't use could be a marine. Not every gas, but could be mineral, right? And so we love minerals, we love marines, we love racks, we love expanding. SCV production, we're going to, try not to miss them, try not to miss SCV production. And army production is, are we using all of our racks? Are we using all of our racks? or do we have buildings we can't support? So, okay, hey, thank you for joining me again. As you can see, we're quickly evolving this channel to cover a multitude of topics of improvement. This is going to be a continued daily ladder piece, but I am going to start throwing in my coaching sessions, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my deliberate practice process. So let me know if there's anything you want me to document along my path that you're not seeing. But I think I'm covering a lot. But I always have always up for ideas and suggestions. If you saw some things that I need to work on, please. You haven't been held back yet, so please keep going. Special thanks again to Bertman for his constant essay. At the end of every video, I do read them all, and I do take heed and take notes on those. So thank you again. This has been a great episode. They're great when I win one on an occasion, right? So thank you, and have a wonderful Starcraft day.